Okay, so I think I'm going to start off the video here to just kind of show you guys kind of an update to a lot of stuff because I got a lot to talk about today. But I'm going to first start off with my server room. Uh, I've got a little bit that has changed and I'll kind of go into it. First of all, I've got my 6 years of llamas guarding the server rack. So, uh, not really a heck of a whole lot has changed in the way of my router. I can't remember. I was trying to use a Dell server for my router, but I ended up going with the TP-Link ER605 for just simplicity and Wi-Fi acceptance factor if it ever has to be rebooted. I've got a Tenda PoE switch for all of the camera. Not a Tenda. I'm sorry. Tenda 2.5 gig for just regular data, and then this is just some no-name brand PoE switch. Haven't had any issues with it so far. And then I have a Tenda 16 port gigabit switch. So for my main file server, I'm using a Dell Optiplex 9020, and it is currently running Unraid, which I have it booting up into the graphical user interface by default, so I can just kind of monitor things. And the cool thing about this is that the GUI comes with just a basic version of Firefox, so I can actually have Home Assistant running on my, this is an Ace PC. I think this was on sale for like stupidly cheap. I think I got this like for $50. It's a quad core, has 16 gigs of RAM, comes with 512 gig SSD. It's only a SATA SSD, but it works. And it's got two Ethernet ports, so you could use it as like a router if you wanted to. But I'm just using it for Home Assistant. I was using this as a main desktop PC for a little while, but I transitioned this into a Home Assistant server. And so on here, when I'm running Unraid, I can run, or I can have it display all the information for Home Assistant. I haven't fully configured everything yet. You know, there's like a lot of tweaks and stuff that I have to do, but I just got your basic things like my Marantz home theater receiver. I can turn it off, do a couple different controls on here. This is my Apple TV, my thermostat. And then I also have Pi-hole running on my Unraid server in a Docker container. The problem is, because I'm using this as a Docker container and I'm running it on the same bridged network, I haven't been able to figure out how to display the actual Pi-hole graphical user interface on this, because it's on the same IP, but I can display the information from Home Assistant and it'll show me, you know, my ads blocks, my queries, all of that. So that's kind of an update. I now also have a external drive for Unraid. This has two 8 terabytes Western Digital Gold, and then this is two SATA SSDs that are hardware RAID 0 with this little box. I know, you know, everybody talks about, oh, it's not safe to use RAID 0. You know what? I've been using it for, geez, almost 3 years now. Never had a single problem. So, and this is just kind of sort of this is my main share where I dump everything into, and then everything from this gets backed up to these drives. So as far as my wire management goes, it's kind of messy right now. This cabinet may be getting moved in the future. I've got some plans for the house and all of that we may do in the future. So I'm not totally sure. And then I have this stupid HP Envy printer, which I absolutely despise. But we have it, so I'm going to use it until it dies. At least that's it for as far as the server room goes for now. Like I said, with Home Assistant, there's a lot of tweaks and stuff that I want to do. and configure. There's a whole lot you can do with Home Assistant. Like, it is, when you talk about a black box or a black hole, rabbit hole you want to go down, this is definitely something you can get into. So it's just going to be kind of a work in progress, getting it all configured the way that I want. So yeah. Okay, so I figured today what I will do is, I have a lot that I want to talk about, so I'm going to be working on my bike and kind of getting it ready for next weekend, because we're going on a camping trip and we are taking our bikes. I'm going to be cleaning up my bike, cleaning up my wife's bike. I don't know if I'll do hers on camera, but depending on how long this takes. So I just kind of want to tell you guys why I haven't been releasing videos, haven't been working on videos, and just kind of give you guys my thought process and what has been going on, because I've made a lot of computer changes, camera changes, ended up settling on nothing at all. So let me just kind of sort of start from the beginning, and I will get my stuff ready here. So right now I'm just going to kind of clean the chain and just talk to you guys, tell you guys what's going on. So the first things first, when I started my when I started the new job, I had a Nikon Z30. That Z30 was, it was an okay camera, and it was, I mean, it had really good color, it had really good features. Just the only thing it didn't have was IBIS. So I found myself in situations where I was really needing IBIS, and that was it was kind of irritating me. So I ended up selling that camera to get a phone, which was the ZTE Z60 Ultra. And I probably only used that phone for maybe 2-3 weeks before I ended up selling that one. And the reason why I went with that one is because I saw some videos online which it had really good image quality, which was fine. I mean, the 4K on it looked great. It had a 35mm f1.8 lens. It was great. Problem was, what I've noticed, all of these Chinese phones have this issue with they do something with the audio, and it's like a hardware forced noise reduction that you cannot turn off. You can use third-party apps like Motion Cam, MC24FPS. All of those apps, they can use external mics, but even when you're using an external mic, which has external hardware, it's still, these Chinese phones like Xiaomi, I've done it with Xiaomi, I've done it with Poco, ZTE. I haven't tried any of the Huawei or the Oppos or the Infinix. I haven't tried those yet, but what I've noticed is they have this hardware encoded forced noise reduction that you cannot turn off. And because of that, to me, it pretty much makes the phone unusable in a terms of if you want to do video recording. So, long story short, ended up getting rid of that phone, even though the video quality on it was outstanding. It had a 35mm f1.8 lens that was amazing. You can't find that on pretty much any other phone. Yeah, there's phones out there that have 1-inch sensors, but it's just, and then I tried to get a Sony Xperia, the one with the 1-inch sensor, I think it was the Pro I, but those are still going for like $700-800 used, and it was just like, that's kind of pushing it. So ended up selling the ZTE, and I got a Canon R50. Probably had that for like 2-3 days max. The Canon R50 had 10-bit video, but its image stabilization was crap. It probably had worse image stabilization than the Nikon did. And we're talking optical image stabilization, not IBIS. So got rid of that. Tried to use an Ace Pro 2, which that one I really wanted to like that camera. Like I liked the form factor of like an action cam vlogging style camera like that. It had the flip out screen, which was great. Same thing though. It's a Chinese manufacturer, and it just has this weird hardware encoded noise reduction that you cannot turn off. And then you have to use their proprietary 3.5 millimeter adapter. The problem with that is it only works. You can only use that adapter uh, for external mics, so you can't use USB. And even then, when you're using that adapter, it does some kind of weird hardware noise reduction that you cannot turn off. And it is so bizarre that they're doing this. Like all these phone manufacturers, camera manufacturers. So currently, I am on an iPhone 14. I am using a wireless microphone, and it has an external adapter that is hardware based. So when you plug it into the phone, it's just, hey, I'm going to use whatever that is. Yes, this does have noise reduction, but you can turn it off. When you plug this into like the ZTE that I had or the Poco, even though you can turn the noise reduction off, it still was doing something to the recorded audio on the video. And you could even use apps like Euphonic or whatever that you're just trying to do a sound recording, and it would still do something with the audio that just did not sound right. So I scrapped those ideas. So for now, I'm just kind of stick with the iPhone until something comes out. There's a lot of cameras out there that almost tick all of the boxes, but it's also kind of weird because right now you cannot find, for under $500, you cannot find a camera that has IBIS, 10-bit, log, and an external microphone input that does not mess with the audio. It does not exist. There are some cameras that come very, very close, but they all have weird quirks to them where maybe you can't do 4K 30, like it's only 4K 24, or you can't do, you can't record past 15 minutes per recording. So it's a very strange market, and I'm not quite sure. It's like all these camera manufacturers are going backwards, or they're just not doing anything to actually move things along. So I don't know. It's very strange. I can't talk and do this at the same time, but so that's kind of my thought process. So what I ended up doing, so for now I'm using the iPhone 14, and you can use an app called, and see, and this is the other kind of weird thing. You can use an app called Cinema P3 Pro, and you can record up to 32-bit float audio that's not, they don't fuck with it. They don't do anything with the audio. It's just, here's your audio. It can record 10-bit 709. It's only 420. It's not 422, but hey, at least it's 10-bit. It can record on both the cameras, and you can use log as well. And I just find it very interesting that this, I don't even know how old the iPhone 14 is anymore. It's what are we on, 16 now? So maybe 3 years old. Anyway, I find it interesting that you can do that on an iPhone, but you can't on like some of these Androids, where you can, but it's still, they do stuff with the audio, and it's, I don't know, it's very strange. So anyway, where I'm at is, after the whole camera shenanigans and the fiascos of me trying to find something that actually worked, I ended up putting the money towards upgrading my laptop, which now has 64 gigs of RAM. I got a 4 terabyte SSD in there, and I'm just going to use the iPhone and this to edit video for the foreseeable future, which, I mean, I don't know if anybody's going to come out with anything. Yeah, there's some new cameras out that are really compelling, like the Fuji XM5. It's got almost everything except for IBIS, and I just can't deal with a phone or a camera that does not have IBIS. Now, if you're using it like purely in a studio type setting, it's probably going to work just fine for you. It's got great color, it's got great codecs to it, but it doesn't have IBIS. Now, yes, the lenses have optical image stabilization, but I don't know. And then Canon just released that camera. I don't know if it's out yet, but I know there was announcements for it for the Canon PowerShot V1. And the V1, same thing. It's like they get rid of some features and then add others. And that one, I believe, doesn't have IBIS either. It only has optical image stabilization. So I don't know, man. It's a very strange camera market right now, and I'm not sure what's gonna come in the future. Um, and then not only that, but all these camera manufacturers, like for instance Fuji, then they just released that Fuji X, the X100V. I think it's been out for a year now. It's so expensive, and even with it being expensive, it's sold out. They can't keep it in stock anywhere. And some of the used market for that thing, it's selling more than the stupid camera cost if you were to just buy it brand new from a retailer. So I don't know what's going to happen with the XM5. Where I think I saw a rumor somewhere where they were going to come out with a camera that was similar to the XM5 that had IBIS, but A, how much is it going to cost? B, are they going to be able to keep the stupid thing in stock? I don't know. Uh, I know I'm kind of rambling on. So between that and then while I've been dealing with all this stuff is, you know, for for work, trying to find a camera that actually works and fits all of my needs. I've been changing, my workflow process with my personal computer, to edit videos, and then I had the so basically what I did was I moved a lot of my server hardware around that I had been using for desktop, because I was editing on an iPad for a little bit, which I still can if I need to. Like if I want a more mobile setup, I can still use an iPad. But with CapCut, because it's so efficient, even like on an Intel or an AMD processor, and I am now using my laptop to edit all of my videos, and I'm just now getting to the point where I can start getting back into editing, because, like I said, I was moving a bunch of stuff around in between traveling and all that. I wasn't quite at a point where I wanted to sit down and start getting back into editing videos and whatnot. So I think I'm at that point. Um, so yeah, and this is kind of another thing I wanted to talk about, which I don't really talk about a lot on my channel as far as gaming goes, but on iOS, a lot of the iOS apps, they're coming out with older titles. Like they now just released Neverwinter Nights on iOS, and I've been playing that game, and it brings back so many memories, and it's so cool that you can play on an iPad now that old game, and it brings back like all these nostalgic memories that I have playing that game back in 2007, 2006, 2007, 2008. Um, I don't know. I just thought that was kind of cool. Not really, doesn't really have anything to do with anything, but yeah. So yeah, I'm just kind of cleaning up my bike here, getting it ready for next. Let me see if I have any canned air. Yeah, just getting my bike ready for next weekend. We're going to be going camping. I just plan on intending using my iPhone. Right now, I have a What's on it is a vintage mist filter. So it's like a cross between a warming filter, a black mist filter, and like a glimmer glass. It gives it a really unique look, and I think I'm just going to stick with that for now. And before all of you people out there, bike experts, this is actual chain and cable lube with PB Blaster. It's not WD-40, so if you yell at me, you can go suck it, because I don't really care. I've used this stuff for a long, long time. Never had any issues with it. But my bike's just been sitting in a shed, so it's not like a lot has happened here. Let's see, what else do I want to talk about? I gave you guys an update to my server. Gave you guys an update to the whole camera fiasco and all that. Let's see, what else? There are some other things that I want to talk about, but I haven't quite found a medium. Well, let's say maybe a medium is not the right word. I haven't quite found the opportunity to do it. Maybe I'll record some videos while I'm traveling, like at the hotel or something. But I kind of want to talk about world events and crap that's going on, but I just haven't quite decided how I want to go about it, because I'm not a real political person, but with the whole stuff that's going on now, I don't know. It makes me want to put my thoughts out there. So I'm not really sure. Okay, I've got my bike pretty much cleaned up right now. I don't remember where I stopped off, because I just kind of sort of got into my head and stopped talking and was like, oh yeah, I'm recording a video. I forgot. But I need to adjust the derailleur here so that my last gear stays into place. As far as the traveling aspect goes, when I started this job, I started in October of last year, and no, don't do that. It was pretty much winter time, and the deal with winter is there's not a heck of a whole lot going on in terms of making videos look pretty, making videos look pretty, interesting, cinematic. But okay, let's see if it works now. Oh yeah, look, we're in the last gear. So there we go. Look at that. Go back. Let me start over. So first gear, no, this would be second. I'm upside down, sorry. Not second, seventh. So 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright. Awesome. So that's ready. What was I saying? I don't even remember anymore. Oh, yes. Because it's winter, there wasn't a heck of a whole lot, in terms of filming stuff. But now that we're getting into spring, I will take more time to get out and explore cool areas, so that I can, actually film some stuff that I find interesting or whatever. There really wasn't a whole lot wrong with my bike, other than just that derailleur needed to be adjusted and it needed to be wiped down, cleaned off. Now my wife's bike, I think, has a little bit more issues. I do need to tighten these up. I don't remember. I will be filming next weekend as far as camping goes because I've got fishing stuff going on. Actually, as a matter of fact, let me show you guys. I've had this for a while, but like, okay, so I adjusted the camera, but I've got some fishing tackle. I'll be going fishing next weekend. Oh, I forgot I had that. It's a little bit heavier. Got some bass fishing tackle. When I was traveling, I've had this fishing pole for a while. This is just something I got on Amazon. It extends out. The reel's pretty good. Problem is the extendable part likes to slide back down no matter how hard you try to extend it. So I have a pole here that it was just given to me. He gave me this Freegate reel, and then also this Bass Pro reel as well. So I'll be using some of this stuff when I go fishing and camping next weekend, and I'll try to film what I can. So this is my wife's bike. She has a Schwinn Boundary, and what I need to do to it, well, first of all, I just realized she is missing some hardware here for the seat. The front derailleur needs to be adjusted because it's rubbing. So I gotta adjust this cable, which does not look like it's gonna be fun because I don't have much to work with here. And yeah, see, you can hear it rubbing. So I need to adjust that, and her bike is just really dirty, so that's pretty much it as far as that goes. And maybe lubricate her chain a little bit. And she has disc brakes, as opposed to mine has your old-fashioned brakes, but mine is so freaking light you can pick it up with like 3 fingers. It is super light. Hers weighs like a ton. But she's got suspension and all of that, and I have like a cross bike. Like, I did a video on my bike a long time ago, but it's a cross between a road bike and a mountain / pavement bike. I don't really know. It's custom. I've got a front oval chain, and it's only a 1x7 speed, whatever you want to call it. I forgot what it's called. It's been a while. But yeah, it's an oval chain drive on the front. Got stamp pedals, Cloud 9 seat, but I do have some cheap brakes on it. So, but I mean, most of this stuff, I think I upgraded everything on this bike for less than her bike costs brand new. So yeah, I'm going to work on her bike, and I think that's about the end of this here video update. So see y'all later. Peace.